What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Wasting Wildcards here on Malta 5. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. You know, spent some time at home playing some Magic. If you were in the Northeast, experiencing a heat wave monsoon, that was very unpleasant. But that's all behind us now, and let's play some Magic. So today, I am playing Mardu Humans in Historic. So I made a black and white humans deck a while back, which I found very fun. It's kind of like, you know, like white weenies, a little bit of death and taxes, but it has the black for like removal and General Kudrow and stuff like that. But there's a lot of good like red humans and a lot of good multicolored humans in the Mardu colors. Mainly, we get access to Tajik, who is really good, prevents like burn spells from killing your creatures and stuff like that. Has Mentor to pump up your smaller like 2/1s, which is always really good. You know, get your team pumped up, and you can get first strike. It's just a solid all-around creature. Also, it's legendary, so plays very nice with Mr. General's Enforcer here, giving all legendary humans indestructible. And did I send a Tajik away? I do this every time. I gotta stop clicking so aggressively. Anyway, yes, so General's Enforcer gives all of your legendary humans indestructible, which means we've got Thalia, we have General Kudrow, we have 2 Judiths, and we have Tajik. So our most powerful humans can survive a Wrath if we have one of these General's Enforcers on the battlefield, which we're playing 4 of them, so that happens fairly regularly. So what else do we get by adding red? Like I said, we have 2 Judiths, which pump our team, so we have multiple kind of anthem effects. We also get the benefit of when things die, we can just start pinging enemy creatures. We can ping our opponents. It's just ping planeswalkers. It's a really good just kind of role player. Say they sweep our board, they have a planeswalker with 2 loyalty. Ping ping, we're good. We kill it. We get a little bit of value. What else are we running? We've got 4 Stormfist Crusader. So in a deck like this, you need to continuously draw cards because they're going to be killing all your humans and you just need to draw more humans. And we're not playing blue, so we don't just have straight up card draw. So we have Stormfist Crusader and Militia Bugler as our way to get value, to draw cards, and stuff of that nature. Also, Stormfist Crusader is a great aggressive card. It's a 2/2 with Menace, and eventually you can maybe make it like a 3/3 with a little boy Tajik's Mentor ability. We also are running 2 Rixmati Revelers as just another way of potentially getting value later in the game. We're very often Hellbent, playing off the top of our deck, and if you just have like a Stormfist Crusader, it pings our opponent, this gets triggered, we can draw some cards. It's all around, it's a solid role player. So other than the new cards we added to the deck, we are playing 4 Dauntless Bodyguards as just a 2/1 human for 1 that can also protect some of our more valuable creatures later in the game. We are running 3 Thalia as a way to annoy the ever-living crap out of our opponent, and since we're only running 4 non-creature spells, it's okay. It'll make our 2 removal spells here cost 3 instead of 2 if it's on the battlefield, but that's probably worth the annoyance to our opponent. We're also running 3 Tithe Taker as another way to annoy our opponents, and also when Tithe Taker dies, it has Afterlife, so you get a Spirit token. So it's just kind of like a redundant threat. It helps protect our creatures from our opponent's removal, from like what's the sweeper? It's been so long. Oh my gosh, let me look here real quick. Not lands. It's 4 mana. I want to say Sweep Away, but that can't be right. That can't be right at all. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. It won Luis Scott Vargas that game at the last Pro Tour. Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. I'm supposed to be a content creator. Settle the Wreckage. Sweep Away. Settle the Wreckage. It's good against Settle the Wreckage. Yes, anyway, people know who Tithe Taker is. It's a solid card. We've got 2 Kitesail Freebooters as kind of like a main deck, disrupt your hand, maybe pull a removal spell or a sweeper out of our opponent's hand to kind of let us get that last bit of damage through before they sweep us. And we've got 1 Agadeem's Awakening as just a land or a way to bring back a lot of dead stuff from the graveyard. Our mana base is a complete mess. I am terrible at making mana bases. Hopefully, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that the way I roll, I'm like, I get an idea and I just run with it really quickly. If there are people watching who are actual good deck builders, hopefully just kind of my madness will help inspire them to make a better deck, or at least, fix the mana base. But we're running 4 unclaimed territory, considering we're almost exclusively humans, so this is very helpful in casting our human spells. We've got 2 Triomes because it has all the colors of mana, and it can also be cycled if we draw it later in the game. And then we've just got a smattering of Sacred Foundries, Clifftop Retreats, Blood Crypts, Godless Shrine, Concealed Courtyards, 1 Castle Locthwain for fun, 2 Plains, and 2 Swamps. So this is kind of, it's a mess, but it kind of works. Kind of. And right now, as you can probably tell by my sideboard only having 8 cards in it, this is a best of 1 deck. It is very aggressive, and that tends to work best in best of 1. It is 3 colors, so our sideboard could have a lot of options, so it's definitely something I will probably work on making a sideboard for. But in the meantime, let's play some best of 1 games on the ladder and just see how this Mardu Humans deck does. All right, so here we are with game number 1. It's a pretty good hand, kind of awkward having this Triome here. We do have all of our colors of mana. We have a 1, 2, and a 3 drop. So I'm going to keep this hand, but the real choice is, do I start with the Triome or do I start by putting a body on the ground? I think I'm going to start with a Dauntless Bodyguard, followed by a Freebooter, and hopefully that little early bit of damage will be the right choice here. Our opponent has Cryptic Command sleeves, so... Alright, I was going to say maybe they're playing Control, but they are playing Mono Red. So, let's see here. Okay, well, we drew an untapped mana, but we're going to have to take some damage here, which is a bummer. But not what you want to be doing against Mono Red. Let's go... Unfortunately, pay 2 life. We'll take something out of their hand. So they have plenty of mana here. So I think Lightning Strike is probably the best choice. And I'm just going to attack. I mean, they can trade here if they want. I doubt they're going to, but they can. Okay, that's awesome for us. So my opponent has a couple lands and a Viashino Pyromancer. So we're in a very good spot. Considering we're doing a lot of damage to ourselves, I would say we're in an okay spot. So let's... This hurts. This hurts a lot. But let's play General. We can start getting in for 2 here. Hopefully they don't draw into any more 3-cost burn spells. Yep, ping away. Ping, ping away. I'm going to assume they have like a Wizard's Lightning or something like that. But, I could have gone Bugler, but I really want to get the damage in. I guess they could like Shock here and just make it small. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Get a thing off the battlefield. All right, so here, let's go Militia Bugler. We'll exile some more stuff from the graveyard. We'll get a Bodyguard here. And now, again, this really hurts, but I'm going to pay 2 life. Play the Bodyguard to protect the General. So I'm going to attack here. We can potentially kill both of their creatures, but yep, they're going to let that slide. So now they can try to kill the General, but I can protect them. Oh, the -1/-1 counters. I'm dumb. That's an interaction. That's an oops from me, dog. That is an oops from me. Yeah. Yeah, Indestructible does not protect you from minus counters. I'm dumb. D-Spark, bad in this matchup. So we're gonna cycle here. That's a pretty good. It's a pretty good cycle for us, and we'll play a Tithe Taker. And we've got Vigilance here, so I'm gonna attack in. This is a pretty close match. It's a pretty close matchup. My opponent can, get back pretty easy if they draw the right mix of burn spells and light up the stages, but a 3-mana light up the stage is something your opponent never wants. All right, so they can burn a Wizard's Lightning here. All right, all right, all right. I think I need to keep my life total up. It's going to get pretty scary. All right, that's a pretty good draw. I'm going to hold back just so I can block if I have to. Let's see, exile target card from a graveyard. So I can start creating, what does it make? Spirits or humans? Humans. Yep. The light up the stages are getting all the value. Yep. And they definitely aren't running anything with four greater mana cost, that's for sure. I mean, maybe they're running Chandra, but yeah, that's annoying. So let's trade here. I think we have to block. All right, so that turned around. Ooh, that's a nice one. That'll help. I think, yeah, we want the General's Enforcer again. I mean, maybe they run like Chandra and we can actually despark something. That'd be okay. Oh, baby. That sucks for us, but at least we can kill it. They can +1 here. Yeah, cast their giant. Yep. Okay, or Thermo Alchemist. That also works. Let's go human. Let's despark our girl Chandra. Let's General's Enforcer up this Vioshino Pyromancer. And hold back. So a Judith or another General Kudra would be pretty nice here. This is a matchup where you really would like Thalia. The Thermo Alchemist definitely gives them a little bit of an inevitability. Let's see here. We don't actually have any ways to gain life, which in these colors is something we could definitely incorporate, and it's something we probably would incorporate if we were doing this with a sideboard. Let's block here. Let's block here. I mean, like, I could double block here, I guess. I'm going to keep this back just because it's a way to make constant creatures if needed. All right, well, that was a nice little win for our opponent there. All right, Thalia is not the worst, but again, they have inevitability, which is something we do not have, and we do not have a way to gain life. Ugh, all right, I think that's probably going to do it for us. Yeah, let's, we'll draw one more card and just see how rough we are. And that'll do it. Good game, my friend. All right, so you can kind of see that was a good example of how the deck worked. It's actually, like, with Militia Buglers and stuff like that, you do kind of get a lot of value from your creatures. Mono Red seems like it would be a pretty tough matchup unless you get an early Thalia out, just because having that early Thalia making their 1 mana and 2 mana spells cost 2 and 3 mana is super huge. And we do not have that. We do not have that option. But what do we got here? Again, we've got 2 drops and a 3 drops. We got some removal. So I'll keep this. Even against Mono Red, you know, Despark's not that bad. So let's start by playing this tapped. Don't need the red mana yet, so let's start with the white and black. Probably going to get Thoughtseized here. Yep. So this could be any number of decks. Let's see. If they're taking the General's Enforcer, maybe it's like Mono Black Aggro. Well, we can find out. Human. Let's take a peek at this hand. Okay, so we are up against Dimir Control. So let's get rid of Fatal Push. They can just use Fatal Push to get Fatal Push back, but it's kind of forcing them to use Fatal Push on a 1/2, so. Oh, okay, so it's Sultai Control. Cool, cool, cool. Which means these Desparks and these Dire Tactics are actually going to be pretty okay. Have the option to Despark Planeswalkers and Dire Tactics Uros, which is pretty nice. And this is a fun thing to do with the old hasty boys. Fatal Push, can't get them. Oh, yes. You do not have a fetch land. This is not modern. Unfortunately, you can't easily make Fatal Push work. I mean, you can kind of easily make Fatal Push work, but not as easy as you would want. All right, there's Uro. Just get all that value. Just get it. Yep. So this deck does have decent, like, graveyard hate built in with General Kudro and the General Enforcer. It's expensive. It's not like Scavenging Ooze. It's not 1 mana, but... All right, so we're probably just going to get Uro'd here. We're going to take a ton of damage here, but yeah, let's exile the second Uro now. I'm not too afraid of our opponent beating us down right here. This is probably just going to get killed, but... I mean, hey, it's good practice. We're up against the best deck in the format, so... So if it decide... No, they can't cast Uro yet. I was going to say, if they try to escape Uro, we'll be able to kill it. So they know about our D-Sparks. So that may keep them from casting like a Nissa or something like that. Okay, Hydroid Krasis. Well, we can at least get rid of that. They're gaining a lot of life. All right, well, this will be annoying for them. Ugh, never mind. It won't be. Let's take... What would we rather have them use? So I'm doing this because Languish against our deck is incredibly devastating. So forcing them to use that to get Extinction Event back is better for us in the long run, just because we'll at least have some stuff alive after. All right, Militia Bugler is A-okay with me. Thalia's probably past her prime here. I mean, Judith is probably okay. General's Enforcer. I mean, getting General's Enforcer will hopefully, like, kind of force my opponent to cast their Uro. Fortunately, Uro has a 3 converted mana cost because that card is just so gosh darn annoying. I wish when more 3-color mid-range decks were good. Abzan is my favorite. I'm a sucker for the Siege Rhino. I'm a sucker for all of those colors mixed together. And every time I play those decks in every format, you have some decent success because there are very good cards, but nothing is Uro. So every time you play those cards, you're like, man, this is just a deck that would 100% be better if this was Uro. Which, you know, is never the case. Oh, stupid Uro. So good. So good. So, I think we've used the only removal spells we actually have that would cleanly remove Uro here. Yep. So, Extinction Event here can only get rid of one of the 2 things. General's Enforcer can slowly start eating stuff from their graveyard, but... Alright, well, at least we can despark Nissa before they get too much Nissa value. Yeah, like, this deck, obviously, we're kind of getting pretty beat up here. I'm just going to block the Uro to keep my life total. So you can see this deck, like, it's close. It's very close. Obviously, it's not close against Uro because Uro is insane and crazy. Oh, I can't even spectacle you. Whatever, let's at least, you know, rummage. Is that the term? Discard, then draw. I believe that's called rummage. Cool. All right. So, good game, sir. Yeah, so the deck has built-in graveyard hate against Uro. And if we were doing a sideboard, we could do Rest in Peace. We could do stuff like that. My deck doesn't really need access to the graveyard, so you can go pretty all in with stuff like Rest in Peace, Grafdigger's Cage, stuff like that. But it's just tough. Uro is so good. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, you get like Bloodchief Thirsts and Fatal Pushes in your sideboard. You could obviously have Thoughtseize and stuff like that in the sideboard. You could have a lot of red removal and stuff like that in your sideboard. I don't think there's as much red stuff you'd want in your sideboard. This is a pretty good hand. We've got plenty of 2-drops into a 3-drop. We've got all the colors of mana we need. Kind of only ever want the Triumph on turn 1 in this deck, or turn 10 when you just need like one thing. Okay, red. Bomat Courier. Okay, so we're up against mono red. So I think the move here is probably to play Thalia. Make their burn spells more annoying. Be able to cleanly block Bomat Courier. So they're stuck on one land. They're not. Okay, it's a Boros deck. I wonder if it's like a Boros... not Hardened Scales. Boros Tempered Steel deck, which is something I thought would be cool. Of course it's not. Young Pyromancer. Okay, so... do we... maybe we freebooter here? See exactly what we're up against, or do we just go for the value? Maybe we go freebooter here. That way we can save our life total by just playing a tap land. Claim the Firstborn's not a bad thing to get out of their hand. So we're going to avoid triggers here. Let's play this tapped, and let's hold back. So they could Robber the Rich, get value, but we'd just be able to block. And if they play any of those creatures, they're not going to be able to play any removal spell to back it up. Also Mardu. Nice. So is this like a Mardu Pyro Vehicles deck? Cool. I dig it. I dig the color combination. Thalia's doing some good work here. All right, and we got a backup. That's nice. So let's Bugler here. It's good blocker. We've got plenty of backups here. And we will bash in like that. I'm not going to be blocking with the freebooter, so... and now I can kind of be just, you know, pretty aggressive in blocking with my Thalia. So maybe they'll attack here, or not. Okay, so let's just get aggressive here. Cool. So I'm going to play Stormfist Crusader. And we're just going to play Rix Mighty Reveler and discard one of our 3 Thalias. A removal spell would be pretty nice here. Another freebooter's not bad. If they're trying to do something fancy by holding back a card, or if they somehow get their Bomat Couriers up. Okay. Okay. Are they going to get aggressive here? Okay, so they're going to try to steal some stuff. Okay, this is actually pretty good for us. They're getting a lot of value. They didn't get any Robber of the Rich value, which is nice. So what creatures do we want to get rid of? We want to get rid of Robber of the Rich. We want to get rid of a Bomat Courier and Young Pyro, probably. So they're going to be able to This is going to clear out both of our boards pretty good. But if they want to get Bomat Courier value, they're going to have to sack it. Okay, so they're using their ping on the Bugler. I'll take it. I think this is going to be okay for us. Is Robert the Rich? Robert the Rich must be a human, right? Yeah, maybe Robert the Rich is what I want instead of Rixmati Reveler in this deck. I think I probably do. Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. So I'm going to start by playing Kitesail Freebooter. Try to force some action out of their hand. And I'm going to follow that up by General Kudrow. General Kudrow, very fun with Kitesail Freebooter, as it makes you have a 2-powered. Ooh, yeah. What do you heroic reinforcements? I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a fun card. I played it a lot in I made like a Jeskai tokens deck. I think it was in standard. Well, yeah, it definitely was in standard. Okay, we got there. Okay, so our opponent was also not playing a tier 1 deck. So right now we have mono red, you know, tier 1 deck. Sultai control, tier 1 deck. Mardu aggro stuff, you know, a different type of aggro stuff. Yeah. So I'm going to keep Rixmati in just for the sake of consistency in this video series. But Robert the Rich is just definitely a better choice. It has haste. So late in the game, it's 100% what you want. If you're a top deck, it's just pretty much strictly better than Rixmati Reveler. This is why I'm a bad deck builder. I don't think of these obvious things. I'm going to keep this because although kind of awkward, it'll work out for us. Let's get this castle out first. Okay, so probably up against Radkos Sac here. We will go Kitesail Freebooter, see what they got in their hand. Okay, so let's take the Claim the Firstborn. And yeah, okay, we're okay. Witch's Oven is annoying. But they don't have the mana to cast anything that they want to cast. So let's go Clifftop Retreat. And let's just get aggressive here. We'll make our Kitesail Freebooter a 2/3. And they're not going to have any luck blocking here. They could sacrifice their Priest to draw some cards. But I think they're just going to try to draw into some land here. If they don't draw into a third... Yeah, okay. That was not a real game. But that would have been an interesting one. I think Mayhem Devil is one, if not the, kind of like biggest nightmare for our deck. It does a lot of damage, for sure. Let's, you know what? Screw consistency. We are going to throw some Robber the Riches in here. Get out of here, Rixmati Reveler. Robber of the Rich. Done. I have a good feeling about that. You know what? And we'll keep the Rixmati Reveler as the thumbnail for old time's sake, just to, you know, be nice. Remember the good old days. It wasn't a terrible card. Like, we got to rummage a couple times. But I think, yeah, the spectacle cost being 4 definitely makes it not the most, like, ideal card in most situations. You're not going to be able to get the spectacle off all that often. This is pretty nice. We have the mana colors we need to cast all our spells. We can get kind of more Death and Taxes easy, or more aggressive. So, okay, Teamer. Not even sure what the Teamer decks are. Okay. Teamer Walls combo or something like that, I guess. Let's go Human. Let's go Stormfist Crusade. Let's just draw some cards, I guess. I know there's some... Is it a wall, or this is just value? It's not a Yorion deck, so they're not going to be, like, bouncing this. They're doing a lot of damage to themselves. Let's throw Thalia out here. See if they're going to play counter magic. Oh, is this the Neoform deck? This might be the Neoform deck. Okay. So Thalia is probably going to be pretty good. We're going to protect her. And we're going to get in for 2 here. Yeah, playing fast and loose with the shock lands, having something to protect you, playing Valakut's Awakening makes me think that this is Neo... What do they call it? Neoform thing. Neo... What's the card? The weird little... There's a bunch of cards in this deck. This is a silly deck, if it is what we're playing against. It's a very just rough guess, but it seems like a possibility. So I guess the General is probably the card I want to play. We'll exile that from the graveyard. Play this tapped, and we'll just attack here. So they can probably go off pretty soon. Probably just need like 1 more mana, maybe. Which they got. Okay, I'm slightly confused. It's got to be the Neoform deck. It's got to be. I know there's like crazy wall combos decks in like Modern and stuff, but I don't think there's enough. And I feel like in Historic, people would probably be trying to play some kind of janky like Arcades deck. Okay, they're going to discard something here. Maybe we'll get some information. Yeah, they got to discard 1 card here. Probably going to discard... Okay, Glasspool Mimic. So that is what we're up against. So we're going to go Human here. We're going to Kitesail Freebooter. Take a look at their hand. Exile Glasspool Mimic. So they got... So they don't have Neoform. So... Shimmer Possibility lets them dig the most. So that's probably what we want to do. Dual Caster Mage... They could flash in here, so they could block with an extra 2/2. But we can just also play Judith here. Make our team pretty big, And let's just bash. They got a block here, and we'll be able to kill all their Wall of Blossoms. Yeah, it's got Menace, my friend. Ping. Judith is so fun. All right, so they have to go off this turn, or we got there. We still have Athalia, so their cards are going to be more expensive to cast. Their creatures won't be, but it's the like the Neoform, the Anticipate. If they drew into Neoform, we probably just lose. Okay. I think the fact that op cost 2 is going to be our savior. Hopefully. Hopefully. I'm nervous. Wait a second. Judith might... Okay, we got there. We got there. We got through 4 big blockers. Okay, that was scary because that Neoform deck could kind of go off, but that would have been so close too because Judith's ability would have been on the stack if I blocked, so we would have killed them after we died, which doesn't matter. Let's do one more. Just to kind of see how it goes. But I'm feeling okay with this deck. I think there's probably something we can do with it. Probably adding a sideboard's not going to be a bad thing. We'll keep this. We'll start with the Unclaimed Territory. That way we can play Stormfist on turn 2. It just feels good playing an Unclaimed Territory deck. This card is like so nice. Are we up against... Okay, so we're probably up against that exact same deck. So letting them draw extra cards, probably not great, but this deck combos off pretty fast, so we're going to have to also try to kill them very fast. We can Judith next turn, hit for 6. Okay, they're probably not going to want to block with their Paradise Druid, but they might. Play the Courtyard, and we'll play Judith, and we're just going to get aggressive as heck. Because that's what we got to do. Because my opponent could win this turn. I think this turn. I think they just need 4 mana, right? I think that's especially with Paradise Druid, yeah. Stormcaller, and then Neoform. Mm-hmm. So we're just gonna let this play out. But I think they probably got there. Yep. It's kind of a silly deck to have in the format. Definitely the most annoying deck. But I guess the Flash Containment Priest, right? Containment Priest would just destroy this deck. You would just exile everything, right? Like, let them combo off, have their good time, get a bunch of stuff. It's kind of like Oops All Spells in a Pioneer. Or Modern, I guess. I made a video, what was it? Was it Modern? It was Modern or Pioneer. I was playing like Green, White, Death and Taxes or Black, White Humans. Some deck that you could cast Containment Priest in. And I did. And I destroyed Oops All Spells. They're like, I got all these creatures. I got 30 power. And I'm like, and you got nothing. They're all exiled. Good game, sir. So that's another thing. Okay, that's good to know. Containment Priest, definitely in the sideboard. We're going to get completely run over here. But, you know. It's a fun little combo. Yeah, we're just gonna die. Okay, well, you know, I wouldn't say that's probably like tier 1.5, I'd guess. It's very popular. I play against it a lot in the historic queues. So yeah, let's check the deck out. So I think for a pretty aggressive base, it's got a good start. Maybe some of these remove, like maybe we just want some main deck Thought Seizes. Freebooter does a very similar job, but maybe just straight Thought Seize, or that's maybe a sideboard thing. Okay, so I was already on the right track. I had 3 Containment Priest. If a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. Yeah, so that would be pretty good against that deck. And then just some other random crap. So yeah, Mardu Humans, a pretty fun aggro deck. You get to play a lot of fun cards. There's definitely some resiliency there. There's some good value. Maybe it just doesn't have what it takes for best of 1. Maybe this is something that needs to be best of 3. It gives us a better sideboard. We can change our main board to be even more aggressive game 1 and then kind of shift into a slightly more Death and Taxes-y, mid-rangey type thing post-board. But it's definitely a fun deck. Whenever it's like, hey, you know, your daily quest, it's like play a white and black card, play any of this mix of things. I just open this deck up. You're playing a ton of creatures. You're attacking with a ton of creatures. It's fun. It's moderately successful. But yeah, this is Mardu Humans. If anybody has been playing a similar deck or any other variations of Humans, if anybody can make 5-color work, that seems a little ambitious. But I mean, we have unclaimed territory, so maybe it's not the most ambitious. Let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you for watching.